What if non-romance books looked like romance books? Hi, it's Divya. What does the G stand for? The G stands for gonna redesign some book covers as romance book covers today for absolutely no reason at all. Let's have a little flashback. So last year, we dissected the current trends in contemporary romance book cover design, and I attempted to make my own mashup version featuring Jeff Bezos, the evil hairdresser who tries to get in the way between the love of Camilla and Shawn Mendes. Now, I'm not saying that I predicted their breakup, but I'm not saying that I didn't. For more, see that. For this year, given that covers are most likely designed a few months to maybe even a year or two prior, the covers pretty much look the same. We've got more vector digital illustration styles, some looking freehand. Overall, it's bold, it's blocky, and it's decorated. Script fonts looking like Bridget Jones is scribbling away in her diary. We have some fun pandemic-inspired stories. Now, I'm not saying that I predicted this, but I'm not saying that. And guys, let's look at this cover. Look, it's so fun. I really like the layered paper cut art. I really like it when designers use like physical materials in their cover designs because it's very playful. It adds a little bit of depth and individuality to the piece. All right, so I asked Instagram for some recommendations of Mice and Men. Okay, so Of Mice and Men, if you're unaware, it's about the loneliness and companionship of two ranch workers, George and Lenny, in the hunt for a job during the Great Depression. And really, it's about the futility of the American dream. In a way, I suppose you could say that they were romanced by the promise of freedom. Lenny's gonna get no peace. Disclaimer. When I do this, I normally just have like one idea and then I just make that idea. If you're doing this for realsies, yeah, you probably want around at least 10 different ideas. Ideally, you want like 100. And you'll probably have a much longer time span than just a few hours in the evening when university isn't shoving its two fingers up your... But I didn't do this because it's not that deep. So I was looking up previous covers of Mice and Men, and imagine my surprise when I saw this. We gotta have the rabbits, you know, the rabbits. All Lenny wanted to do was tend them rabbits. Initially, I was gonna put Lenny and the rabbits together on the cover just by themselves, but I was like, this isn't a Court of Thorns of Roses, you know, I'm not having some bestiality going on in here. Obviously, in the original script, George and Lenny are kind of more like brothers rather than in a romantic relationship, so it's giving me a little bit like, what are you doing, step bro? But yeah, don't be afraid to like move them around, swap them around, change their size a bit. I mean, to be honest, it was the height difference, guys, like it was giving a bit size kink. A few miles south of Soledad, the Salinas River drops in close to the hillside bank and runs deep and green. The water is warm too, for it has slipped twinkling over the yellow sands in the sunlight before reaching the narrow pool. We moved on to Photoshop, where I added the title text, author name, and bam, Of Mice and Men. A story which literally every single 16-year-old in England has read, and therefore poor Lenny, who gets murked at the end, will never get any damn rest. So Lenny is turned towards George, but he's focused on the rabbit, which becomes his ultimate hamasha. And George, Snake, smiling, but his back is turned because rotten egg is a rotten egg. Crime and punishment. Now, for lack of brain cells, I haven't read this, but guys, the title is like giving me sus. Okay, so in an ideal world, you'd read the plot, get themes, get motifs and whatever, but I looked up the plot. Dostoevsky's great novel of damnation and redemption evokes a wild lines between innocence and corruption, good and evil blur. It tells the story of Raskolnikov, destitute and desperate from students who wanders around through the slums of St. Petersburg and commits a random murder without remorse or regrets. You know, Otherwise, perfect for romance cover. So some romance covers don't have people in them at all. You can just use like symbolism. This is my favorite example. I really like the clean vector shape, you know, geometry. And I really love the color palette and the split. Crime and Punishment. I know he had to deal with the feds. And that was enough, really. Fluffy pink handcuffs. Why fluffy pink? Why not? It's like, you know, guys, don't do crime, otherwise we get slap on the wrist and a little slap on the arm. I think sometimes being too clean and everything, a little bit boring. Play around with the type. I wanted to add a little bit of distressed. Oh, this got printed on some really old print machine look. Which I think, yeah, add a little bit of texture for interest. And here we go, Crime and Punishment. This is noted as one of like the greatest texts in world literature by probably some like really older, prestigious, well-renowned, smart and well-educated group of people, like, I don't know, the Hollywood foreign press. In honor of Valentine's Day, here we go. I like genre bending, it's fun, it's challenging. If you do have suggestions of other genre bends I can do with different things, let me know. I feel like this is probably disrespectful to the source material. It's fine, innit? The wolf are dead. I'm joking, it's not that. Let me know your favorite. I kind of like Crime and Punishment. I like the textures. Subscribe for more book design and bookish design content. Leave your support with a like and follow my socials, and I'll see you next time. Hug time for everyone who is lonely today. It's okay, man. Boop. Yeah. What if, why do I sound so scared? Why do I sound so scared? What if? Hi, welcome to Watch Mojo.